Hello, welcome to Brown Dog Gadgets Live. I'm Amanda, the Education Outreach Coordinator here at Brown Dog Gadgets. Didn't even need to introduce him, he was already
Over
there.
Here.
We got Pete today.
I'm going to talk today. So
yeah.
A lot.
Today we've got another episode of MicroBit University, or another chapter. We are finally on to chapter 10.
10.
So if you haven't seen all those other chapters with great stuff from Pete, you should go check those out. You can find those at browndoggadgets.com.
You can.
If you have not followed us on our social media platforms, please do so. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and YouTube. Yeah. Like I said, all the guides and stuff like that you can find on browndoggadgets.com. If you have any questions, comments, or think you can build the code better as we're talking, feel free to chat with us. Yeah. We love to hear it. And then if you have any questions after we're done streaming, you can email us at help@browndoggadgets.com. All right, we're going to jump into the code today. But before we do that, so you got the regular MicroBit, right?
You do, yeah.
Regular size MicroBit.
Regular.
And then you got
standard issue.
The large 3D printed fake MicroBit.
Which is a prop, yes.
It's true. And then, this was for Mike. I don't know if he's here today.
Ooh.
We've got the enormous fake MicroBit.
Large one.
Just wanted to show you these beautiful files.
One. That one doesn't have real buttons.
No, it doesn't
prop
press.
Buttons.
These do.
I got a little obsessed trying to make them pressable, but then Josh just get it done. I'm like,
it's pretty cool. It's very large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you will not see it at ISTE because we won't
be there.
So that's fine.
All right. Today we are working with the A and B buttons on the front of the MicroBit.
We are.
So we're going to put our first one in here. The first one is press A and B.
There we go.
And if I press A, I get an A.
You get that.
If I press B, I get a B. And if I press them both,
you get nothing.
It clears it.
You get nothing.
Fancy. Tell us about it, Pete.
Oh, sure. Press A and B. Let's look at that one. This, like I said, this one's great. You don't have to connect anything. Just using those A and B buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at that code. Okay. Super simple. I mean, I think we covered most of this in the, as far as the LED matrix stuff in our previous guides. What's new here is you'll notice there's an on start, but there's no forever. There's no loop that just runs around. Basically, it runs the start, and then it just sits there. Waiting for what we call an event handler. So these are special things. So this on button A pressed, on button B pressed, or on button A and B pressed, it's going to do something. So the MicroBit just sits there not doing anything, just waiting. And once you press a button, it's going to jump into service and do one of those things. And you can see we just kind of drew our own little A and B using the show LEDs command. We just click, click, click to turn them on. So that's all you see in there. So you press the A, you press the B, you press them both. It's pretty easy.
I think this is definitely one where it's going to be very clear for kids how to do it. There's no question on what's going on, and I think they're going to really get creative on what they're showing.
Yeah.
Which will be fun.
And so this is sort of a feature of the built-in A and B buttons. Now, if you were to connect a button externally to pin 5, it would react to this button A press.
Yeah.
And pin 11 for the button B, because those pins are used by buttons A and B. So, but you don't really get these event handler things easily with other pins. They're sort of dedicated to those. So it's interesting, but and there are some other weird event handling things in MakeCode, but they're a bit more complex. We haven't gotten to those yet, but we probably will at some point.
At some point. We were just saying that, this is chapter 10 of, I don't know, 75. Who knows?
I'm hoping it's only 99 and not 100.
Oh.
We have to deal with numbering.
That'll mess up your numbering system.
Right. Exactly.
All right. So that is guide A. Press A and B.
Yeah.
Now, guide B is called Press Picture.
It is called.
I'm throwing MicroBits now.
Oh, don't do that.
Sorry, I did it. It's too late. There we go. So if I press A, I have a little pixel on the left there. If I press B, it goes to the other side, and then we go back and forth. Da 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 da.
Press them as fast as you can. And now stop pressing. Oh, what's it doing?
It's catching
Still
up.
going, right?
I was too fast for it.
It's pretty cool that it did capture all that input you were giving it, but it doesn't keep up with displaying it. And we'll explain that. If Mike's here, he might like this.
I mean, someone's here. Someone posted something.
Yeah,
I heard the
we got some
sound.
viewers. Oh, yeah, let me take a look. I've been busy. Don't throw the MicroBit.
All right, I won't throw the MicroBits.
Golly, Josh, this is Josh yelling at us for some reason.
Yep.
Anyway, back to this. So, on this one, we talked about let's just explain it. So, a little different than the other one in that we're just showing a single pixel rather than a letter that we drew out. But we could draw out any shape here, any letter. And we're doing this for, you'll see. But you'll notice that it was going slow. Like it was taking some time after you pressed really fast. And what we learned is when you use this show LED function, what it will actually do is it will add like delay when it does it. So like if you just did show LEDs in a loop, and then had like clear screen right after it, you'd never see it because it would get cleared right away. So what they did for MakeCode was add in like a little delay, and I can't remember how much it is, but we'll see that in one of the future guides. So you can keep pressing those buttons really fast, but it's only going to go as fast as that show LEDs function allows, because it has sort of this built-in delay after it shows it. So this is really just to show that and talk about it more than anything else.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome.
Good. Excellent.
All right, so that was B, Press Picture. The name does throw me off because now the next one is C, Press Pixel.
Yeah.
And I get the difference.
Okay.
Because it was the show LED versus plotting it, correct?
Yes.
So this one, if I press A,
got it.
and then B.
And do it as fast as you can. Look how fast that thing is, right? It'll keep up with what you're doing.
Nice.
Right. So here, instead of doing that show LEDs and drawing a whole picture, we're just plotting or turning on a single LED in that matrix. And you'll notice we're also doing a clear screen right before it. You can do it before or after, I guess. But we do it first because when you press one, it'll stay lit.
Right.
So basically, you're clearing out the other one. But as you can see, the plot function does not have any delay after it. So you can press those buttons super fast. And you'll see something, I think, kind of cool in the next guide, in the next step here in our guide. But that's pretty simple. I can't remember. I think we talked about the plot function before.
We did, yeah, because I compared it to coordinate graphing and the coordinate grid and how it's a little bit different.
Yes, it depends where your 0, 0 is, but it's upper left for this. So yeah, again, everything else, you're not seeing anything amazingly new here, but it's worth saying the behavior, what happens when you press those buttons. So that's what we got.
Nice. And then the last one for this chapter is D, Press for Random.
Yeah,
I think is pretty fun.
This is the kind of stuff I like. It's just like fun and somewhat silly, but also like you learn things along the way.
Yeah. All right. I got to get my little stand going here. Wait, I'm going to reset that because I want to show you what happened first. So it starts off with a heart.
Oh, you know what? We should mention here.
Yeah.
That third button. There's a button on the back for reset.
That's right.
Which, if you press that, it'll basically reboot the MicroBit, starting over from scratch.
So the basic, like, same idea as like unplugging the power.
Yeah,
just
and sometimes I'll add a function to one of the buttons to do a sort of reset, which will like clear the screen or like reset a counter to 0 or something. But you can always use that reset button to reset the whole thing. If you're doing something crazy circuit wise and you've got stuff all laid on the board, it's not as convenient grabbing onto those versus pressing down on crazy circuit buttons. But okay, so do that reset.
So if I press,
you did reset already.
I did reset. Yep.
Yes. So it's what I have to say is it's calculating. It's calculating a random number.
Oh.
So press that A again. So and then it's going to give you a random number between 1 and 5.
And then B clears it up.
And then gets rid of it. And you can just keep pressing A. You don't even have to press B to clear it. But
I keep getting 3.
Add another fun. Keep going. That's because random in the computer world is really pseudo-random. See, this could be kind of cool to see, like, well, how often does 3 come up?
Right. You could graph it.
It better not. Oh, thank goodness it didn't come up again.
And it's going to happen again.
Imagine if you just...
1.
There you go. But, if you're doing this thing where you press the button and just a number immediately shows up, that doesn't feel fun and random. It just feels like a button, like a number showed up.
Right.
So we do a little calculating, Maybe in the future we'll add some beeps to that too,
The delay definitely works here. I pressed it like 4 times.
Right. So the code here, again, on our start, we show that heart icon and then pause and then clear the screen. And that's just, again, like a fun startup routine, just like, do computers still make a noise when you turn them on?
I don't think so.
They don't do that anymore? I never turn mine off, so I don't know.
It's true.
There used to be a startup sound or like a chime or something. I don't know if that's still around. Maybe Josh can tell us. Josh, do you know?
Is he even listening anymore?
He's gone. He's gone. But
I'm
once
surprised
again,
he was here.
I know. We have no forever loop. We've just stuck everything right in the A and B button presses. And in here, I think this is pretty darn simple, but we're going to repeat 600 times. We're going to choose a random X value of 0 to 4 and Y random of 0 to 4. So that'll do our 5x5 grid. Some pixel, some LED in there will light up.
Yep.
And then we're only pausing 1 millisecond, which is, it's pretty darn fast for a amount of pause. And then we clear the screen. Now, I do point out in the guide, you could actually unplot, use the unplot command, but the trick here is you'd have to set these two as like variables. Okay. So you'd have to say random X equals this, random Y equals this, because if I said unplot pick random, well, it wouldn't,
it's gonna unplot a random
be the same one. Yeah.
Right.
So if you did that, assign them to variables, then they'd be the same for both commands. But I kept it simple here and just did the clear screen. So it's going to do that 600 times, which we saw as, how long is that? I can't do that kind of math. What's 600
It was like 4
times?
seconds.
Yeah, whatever it is. And then it's just going to show a random number. And of course, B over here is going to just show that X out icon, clear the screen. Yep. So pretty simple, but I do like the kind of fun little like calculating thing that it does. So.
Yeah. So could you switch it up and it would show a random image instead of showing a random number 1 to 5?
You could, yeah. What I would do for that is I would make a function called like random image or whatever, and then have it like an if-else loop. If, random number equals 1.
Okay, yeah.
Show this thing. If it equals 2, show this. Else if it's this thing. So just sort of a big if-else thing. And so create your number, and then use that number to decide which one to show. So,
got it. I like
it.
Work. Cool.
Yeah.
One more time. Let's see what we get. If it's going to be 3 again. Ah! Awesome. Very cool. So really some great ways.
Let's just do this for a while.
What'd you say?
Just keep pressing it for a while. We got time here.
Well, we don't have to fill the time.
1. 1 again.
I know.
1
I don't
again.
think I've gotten 4 at all.
Yeah,
No, I think I got it once.
Random numbers are a whole branch of like computer science, and you can do things too, like keep track of the last of the calculated random number, so that the next time around you don't get the same number. You can do things like that.
Yeah.
But again, this is pretty simple code. We don't really get into any of that. So, and we're only going from 1 to 5. We've only got 5 choices. So,
yeah.
You might see the same. We've got a 1 in 5 chance of getting that number again.
It's true.
So, I'm no mathematician, but I think that's...
You did great at that. Nice work.
Some of my best work. Right.
Yeah, so this is chapter 10 of MicroBit University, using the A and B buttons on the front of the MicroBit.
Yeah.
Next week,
chapters.
We are not going to be live streaming.
Right.
Both Pete and Josh are abandoning me, so I'm not doing it by myself.
It's true.
It's really what it comes down to. I'll be here, though. Feel free to call me.
I'll be off the grid. So,
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, look at that.
We got a great time.
We got 10 chapters, more to come.
Yeah.
We'll be covering kind of pretty much every part that we have, I think, and then getting into all the built-in sensors a bit as well, maybe. So yeah. Plenty. And then we might go back and add in more examples for some of these earlier chapters too. It depends what people ask for, what people want, what we feel like doing. But yeah, and let us know if there's something you want to see, and we'll get it in here.
I know we also talked about, once we go through all those parts, using them in combination with each other as well.
Oh yeah, which we've done a little bit of,
right.
Like LEDs and the buttons, but yeah, introducing I think each part and then kind of combining them all in different ways to do.
Yep. So lots of different ways that you can work on teaching students coding in the classroom with some, basic concepts that they can build off of for other projects as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. So the following week, Josh and I will be back, though. We've got it's a hypno wheel that I created.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hypnotize Josh into, I don't know, I haven't figured out what I'm going to hypnotize him into doing.
More pizza lunches.
I like that. That's a good one. Yeah. And
Let's
then, it's far out. I don't remember what did I put.
Paper circuits light up classes upcycled.
Yes. We're going to use some recyclable materials to create some fabulous paper circuit glasses.
Yeah. And then
MicroBit University, ... Well,
I put down MicroBit Project, the clapper.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because you're still gone.
Yeah, that's next.
So if you were really wondering what the clapper looked like the last time we were supposed to live stream that, and then I disappointed you, don't you fret.
Sorry.
Not next week, but the following week, we will be doing the new version of the clapper. Pete went in and did some updates to it, so it is looking great.
That was a project we pretty much just kicked out as soon as we got a MicroBit with the microphone, which was like version 2.
Right.
So it's like, I think Josh had the idea and I did it in an afternoon. And I think I tweaked the code a little bit, but this is even better now because we have 4 or 5 years of writing MicroBit code, so we added in a little calibration routine, fixed it up a little, and it should be good.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, so we'll do that, and then we'll get into MicroBit University the following week when Pete is back.
And I don't know what that one...
No, it's not even on the live stream schedule, so...
I have some ideas, but it all depends on things.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. That is all we've got for you today. If you have not followed us on our live streaming platforms or our social media platforms, please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and YouTube. Also, all the guides and templates, projects, and products that we have are on browndoggadgets.com. And then you can always email us at help@browndoggadgets.com.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Please visit browndoggadgets.com for parts, projects, and curriculum. Follow us on social media @browndoggadgets. We'll see you next time.